So this is how I make a odds line for horse racing. I just got a few rules that I use while making an odds line. I make my odds line to 120%. You can do it at 100%. The extra 20% kind of represents takeout to me, and it kind of give me a few extra points to play with, and somehow that equals a few extra plays. Because sometimes there's not much room in doing these odds line. Let's see. So I do that, 120%. The next rule is no horse gets more than 50%. So no matter how much I love a horse, I don't make odds line lower than a even money shot. 50% is all a horse will get. And every horse has to get at least a 1% chance to win a race. So, you got to use all the points. So basically, you're just taking points from horses that you don't like and giving them to horses that you do like. Basically the name of the game. So I start with wanting to know how many horses are in the race because I want to know with how many points that I'm looking for. So this is a 9-horse race, but there was a scratch, right? Yeah, there was a scratch. The 3-horse was scratched, so there's only 8 horses in the race. So I look at my little list right here. 8 horses in a race. Fair value odds, everyone starts out with basically 15% chance if this was not a horse race and everyone had an equal chance to win a race. They would all be starting at 15% chance to win a race. We handicap, so we get opinion on who we like and who we dislike, and that gives me a good baseline of where to start taking points away from the horses I don't like and how much I should start thinking that each one is starting with. So I wanted to use a race that was recent, that I used on a stream, that I didn't make an odds line. Race happened Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. 5th race. So if you guys want to know what I bet there and how this would have helped me at the time, and to also know that my prime contenders and my thought of the race is not changing. Like I'm not trying to red board and make this look easier. Is the other reason why I wanted to use a race that I already streamed. This was a dirt sprint, and the reason you don't want to use the morning lines, guys, is first of all, you don't know his handicapping angles, what he uses, what he rates higher than other things. When you do it yourself, you get to assign these points by what you believe in. This is a dirt sprint. I believe the inside of the track is better than the outside of the track. I got the numbers to back that up. So it's easy for me to start with the horses I don't like. So I go right to the outside of the track. This race was a little bit tricky because I did think that the 7-horse was a contender here. But I also thought, since I thought that the 7 was a contender with front speed, I didn't see a scenario where the 8 or the 9-horse can outbreak him and get the rail. So that makes my job easy. The 9-horse actually had good marks, but since I don't see him getting to the inside here, it was easy for me to kind of think he's at about a 5% chance to win the race. And if you guys don't know, the percent that you give a horse correlates with the odds. So all you got to do is look on my odds percentage chart, look up 5%, boom, 17 to 1 is fair value. So if this horse wins 5% of the time at around 17 to 1, it's a break-even proposition. So to bet this horse, you would need more to make, to get overpaid, but that's the starting point. The 8 I thought was the same story. I gave the 8-horse 5%. So, so right now I'm looking, I used 10 of the 120 points, and I'm still looking for horses I don't like. The 7 I like, so I would ignore him at this time. The 6 I wasn't crazy about. So I didn't want to just, I didn't really like him. He's stepping up in class a bit. I didn't care for him all that much. I thought he had a better chance than the 8 and the 9. So I got him at about 10% chance. I didn't think he was a full, he got all 15 of his points. So I got him at 10%. You go to 10%, that correlates to 9-1. So the fair price on him is 9-1. And then the 4 horse. I did not care for the 4 horse either. I thought the 4 was going to be well off the pace. I didn't really care for him. Kind of the same thing. I didn't think he was worth the whole 15%, but I knew he had a better shot just because of post position than the 8 and the 9 horse. So I gave him 10%. I got 4 of the horses assigned odds so far. So right now, I kind of did the easy part. So I used 10%, another 10%, that equals 20%. And then I used 2 5%, so I used 30% so far. So it's just math, guys. 120% minus 30. I got 90 points left. That's it, 90 points. And I would have the 1, 2, 3, and 4 horses left. So a lot of times when I get past that, I'll take the 90 and just divide it by 4 to see what the fair, if all of those were equal, where they would stand. 22.5%. So right now, if I couldn't go any farther, I just look at 22%, and right now they would all be 7-2. But I did have a little bit more of an opinion here. So I did think the 7 deserved more than 22% chance to win it. I thought he was a legit. In fact, I thought the 7's only drawback was being in the 6 hole. That made me nervous. So I knew I wanted to give him more points. The 5 was going to be on the inside. He was going to come off the pace. He kind of sucked under my radar. I didn't think he deserved that many points. So right now I know the 7 should get more points than the 5. I thought the 2 deserved more points than the 5. So right now I'm just kind of getting in my mind how I want to divide those points. And then the 1 horse, I knew I was going to use the 1 horse the whole time. He has a rail. He has a great mark. I knew I didn't like, I knew on paper he wasn't as good as a 7, but he got a better post position. But I still didn't think he was as good as a 2. So I decided to give the 7 33% of the points. And that would correlate, 33% correlates to 2-1. So I got that, and I'm still looking at it, and the order that I like the horses are the 2, the 1, and the 5. That's the order I like the whole race. Let's see. Let's bring the calculator. So I got rid of a big chunk. So let's see. Times that by 4. I had 90 points. I minus 33. So I got about 57. If I just wanted to call it there and give them all equal, divided by 3, that'd all be about 19%. 19% correlates with about 9-2, 4-1, right the sweet spot between those 2 odds. I thought the 2 deserved more than them. I never got rid of the 4 or the 5 and hating them. But he made it this far, so I knew I had going to give him points. And I still like the 1. So I kind of gave the 120, or I'm sorry, I gave the 1 25%. I like the 2. I thought the 2 had a better chance on paper than the 1. So times that just by 3, minus the 25. 25 correlates to 3-1, nice and simple. So you just put 3-1 as his fair value. And that gives you 32 points. And I could have just gave the 1 and the 5 horse both 16 points. but I did have a better opinion on the one. I knew I was stretching for the one, but I was really relying on that inside. So I just made it simple on myself. I gave the one 18 points correlates to 9 to 2. I gave the 5 horse 14% chance at 6 to 1. So right now I got a race that matches with my opinion based on my handicapping and my marks and everything. And now it's not this is now we get to the foundation of your betting. So you got your handicapping opinion. You kind of got nothing's changed. 7 is the first choice. I seen the weakness of him being outside. I thought the 2 was a bit better than the 1, but not crazy better than the 1 who's going to be on the inside. He's at 3 to 1. 1's my third choice at 18 to 1. And 5 would be my fourth choice at 6 to 1 with a 14% chance to win this race. So we did handicapping and we correlated that with our odds. We don't care what the morning lines is or the odds board. The odds board is just the menu. So the next step of using this is basically you're trying to find plays. You want to fall in love with plays, value. So the rule for betting your odds line, what you're basically looking for is to get overpaid. All this right now is saying, I think the one horse has an 18% after 100 races. If the one horse wins 18% at 9 to 2, it's going to be break even. After 100 races, if the 2 wins at 25% at 3 to 1, it's going to be basically break even and all the way down the road. That's all these odds are saying. We don't bet our first, second, third choice and everything. You want to look at value. And if you don't make an odds line, you're guessing about value. Sometimes you don't really realize how much so close you are to being able to hit a big ticket until you do this. So I'm going to bring the chart because that's the only way we could really do this. So I ended up playing a double here. And I played a win ticket with the 1. I think I played a win ticket with the 1 and the 2 a bit. And played doubles with the 7 and doubles with the 1 for more. And you'll see why I did that, even though this is my third choice. So you want to get overpaid on these decisions. You're looking for value, and this is a definition of value. This is why I always say value is different for every personal handicapper. It's different. It's how you handicap. It's identifying the percentage that you think the horse will win. So 2 good handicappers could have completely different odds on there, and they could both be equally as good. Our opinions are not great every race, but this is finding value in deciding how you make a bet. This one horse I thought has an 18% chance to win a race. He's 9 to 2 morning lines. This horse went off at 36 to 1, almost 37 to 1. That's extreme value. For you ABC players, that would be an A horse. He's not your third choice. That would be a freaking A horse. You know, it doesn't matter anymore. Extreme value equals A horse on a horse that you think has an 18% chance. The 2 horse, I got as a 25% chance, so fair value would be 3 to 1. Here's the 2 horse. He went off that day at 4 to 1. Yeah, he's a little bit more. That's good value. It's not extreme, it's good. I did use both of them. The 4 horse, let's see, the 4 horse was in the 3 hole, was 3 to 1. I gave him a 10% chance, 9 to 1. So I said 9 to 1. To me, with my opinion of the race, he's extremely overbet. This is not an A horse. He's 3-1. He's not an A horse. My opinion says he has a 10-1. You know, this is why I preach. Handicapping is assigning values to these horses and basing off of yours, not anything else. The odds board is just the menu, the prices that you're going to get. So I would think he would be a terrible bet. He was an easy throw off to me anyways. Of the 5 horse, I got 14% at 6-1. He ended up being the winner. He won at just a little bit over 6-1. So not fair. He's at the break-even point. The 6 horse, 5-2. This is a race where I failed. I made a bet here. I didn't realize how good of a betting situation this was. I did not realize how much my positive expectation was in this race with my opinion because I failed to make a morning line. And even when I'm looking at these right now, I never realized the 6 was 5-2. I got him as a terrible bet according to my handicapping. The 7 horse, I got it as a 33% chance. I thought that horse should be the favorite. He ended up going off at almost just under 4-1. Just under 4-1 right there. Yeah, proper bet. He was giving a little bit more value. You could still call him an A. You know, I was worried about the outside. So I would have done a very good, let's see, a very good odds line on this. Right now, the 8 horse, 33-1. I had him at 17-1. Technically, you could bet this horse, but you still can't go betting tons of horses you don't like. But even this horse, even though he's not one that I would have bet, offers value based on what I was seeing. 17-1 is the break-even point. He's at 33-1. He actually offers value. And then the 9 horse, he went off at 10-1. Generally, you know, a nice price, but I thought he had more like a 17-1 shot. I failed to make a morning line this race, and it was terrible. I decided to go for the doubles. I did a win ticket on the 1 at 38-1. At least I got enough sense to at least knew that horse was a positive expectation bet. I think I did a smaller bet on the 2 to win. That bet wasn't as good. And then I used the 1, the 2, the 7 in the doubles. Is kind of how I played that race. It wasn't until someone asked me to do a morning line video race, and I was already I've been thinking about doing this video forever. I got positive expectations on all of my bets, but I failed to realize how much I still like the 5 at a 6-1 chance. You know, the 2 horse just lost, the 1 horse just lost by a neck. I handicapped that race pretty good, but I could have bet it better. And I also want to point out something else. People that say you can't bet place, for the most part, you cannot bet place bets. In this scenario with the 1 horse, I handicapped it and thought he had an 18% chance to win the race, meaning to win the race, I thought fair value was 9-2. For all the guys that say you could never bet place, never bet place, I didn't bet place because I'm a moron. He pays 10-1, or say 9-1. 9-1 to run second. That's still twice what I would have accepted for him in the win ticket. So that's how I make an odds line for you guys that are getting your New Year's resolutions together. And I'm going to try to be thinking about it a bit more this year too. But you should be doing an odds line. Another thing nice about an odds line is if you can't make it through the exercise of making an odds line, it'll tell you right away if you don't understand a race. If you can't narrow it down, if you can't make it to the end, if there's too many horses that you just can't do, it will tell you what races you shouldn't be in. And I think making an odds line was a lot more popular when I started. More people were doing it themselves. It just seemed like people marked up their form more. I'm not sure if we just got lazy. I know I got lazy. I go back to making odds line when I'm in a losing streak and when I'm going back to basics, but it's a really good thing to do.